Good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Southern Sandpiper. I'm your host, Kenny, and today we are starting a new feature that I'm going to try, and that is Tuesday Talks with Southern Sandpiper. Basically, I'm going to talk about whatever on my mind. We'll still talk about pipes and tobacco. So today, I am smoking this unnamed Danish freehand. It is got a beautiful straight grain on top. Let's see if I can get this without getting tobacco all over me. A beautiful, beautiful bird's eye on the bottom, as well as I polished the plateau on this one and brought out. Let's see if we can get this to focus. And brought out the bird's eye on that plateau. And it's a lovely smoking pipe. Keep things lit today. I am using my brand new Merchant Service Zippo. Came in the mail. Literally, just unboxed it. I'm trying a few new things. Yesterday's video, I tried some noise reduction. I don't really like the way the voice came out. I'm trying headsets with a microphone. We'll see if this improves the noise when I sit out. Today, one of the things I really want to talk about is you've heard me say many times, smoke what you like. Don't let anyone tell you any differently. But today I want to show you, this is my own mixture. And it's a mixture of tobaccos that normally my palate says it's not what I'm looking for, as well as with some of the tobaccos that I really, really enjoy, along mixed in with other just straight tobaccos, meaning a straight Virginia, straight black and Virginia, etc. And I then have tweaked this over a period of time, and a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and it's basically becomes my own blend. I just call this one Ken's Blend. No fancy name for this one. But it's a mixture of various tobaccos, and if I feel that it's lacking something, I try to boost that particular quality I'm looking for. So it's a gradual process of being tweaked to my taste and my liking. Besides my classic love of traditional British shapes, I have a huge love of freehands and of Danish pipes in general. This particular one came to me and it was almost a dark brown, but that was mostly from tar buildup on it. Once I cleaned it with straight Murphy's oil soap, I used Murphy's oil soap and a toothbrush, firm toothbrush on it. I then do the same thing around the top of the plateau. And I got the idea from this from a friend of mine. You hear me mention him a lot, Cannibal. And Cannibal, like me, I think cannot leave good enough alone sometimes. He'll tell you he's probably destroyed a few nice pipes just trying to fix flaws that he didn't like. There's a story he told me about finding a fill on a smooth pipe, and let's just say it didn't turn out pretty. This particular pipe I found very inexpensively on eBay. Again, probably a half hour, 45 minutes worth of work. It's turned into a wonderful smoker. When I reamed this one out, this one, the bowl chamber was totally filled with carbon. I brought almost down to the wood to the edges, but then down at the bottom, and I'm pretty consistent with this on many of the estate pipes that have a lot of carbon, is that I leave the thickness, and I'm just using this tool, probably that thick, around the inside, probably half of the bowl. The primary reason I do that sometimes in freehands and thicker walled pipes, hard for me to judge just by feel if I'm smoking a pipe too quickly or too warm. Again, sometimes my cadence of my pipe smoking picks up if I'm really enjoying a tobacco. I find myself lately coming out on my patio porch, coming out on my porch frequently, trying to relax and have a pipe. I think of the world we live in today, and it's a much different place than when I grew up. I'm starting to sound like a codger now. Frightened of the world that may exist for our grandchildren and children. All of this crap going on in the news right now doesn't sit well with me. Even though I served in the Marine Corps as an 0311, as a grunt, I am not a warmonger. And I think that wars should be avoided at all costs. The cost of life is great. And history has told us that violence doesn't get us anywhere. It doesn't mean that we should ignore bad actions of others, etc., but I think we've got enough of our own problems here in America that we need to focus on. Just having my typical coffee and with half and half and a pipe. Gonna be running out a little bit to our favorite local farm. If you guys didn't see on my Instagram, I posted some photos of it. Didn't put it on my Southern Santa Pipers page. It is on my personal Facebook page. But the farm we go to has the best beef, and they were catering meals for Valentine's Day, and they just got a shipment in early yesterday of one of their steers that had been processed at the processing facility, and they had some 2-inch thick cut New York strips. So probably throw a picture in the video so you guys can see it. I'm sorry, ribeyes, not New York strips. And we had a catered meal, my wife and I. We had a lovely Valentine's Day meal with stuffed Maine lobster tails with crab meat and really large. We could not eat a whole lobster tail or a whole steak. We split it, and I'm a big guy. We got a whole entire another one for dinner tonight. Grilled asparagus, big Greek salad, chocolate-covered strawberries, chocolate-covered pretzels, strawberry shortcake, rice pilaf. I think I've got it all covered. But a really nice meal for not a lot of money. And again, it's supporting local farms and a local business. I really encourage you all to support your local business. I'm really big on this for a lot of reasons. My daughter's a small business owner. For any of you down in Fort Myers, Naples, Bonita Springs area, Gulf Coast Town Center, Canterbury and Company Hair Salon, that's my daughter. Wonderful work. She's a master stylist, a master uh, color technician. I don't know what they call it. She is a Wella educator. She goes to other salons and teaches others how to use their products. And she has done Fashion Week, doing hair there down in Miami. She's got lots of talent. She originally was going to school at UCF to become a teacher, and this was her passion, and I'm glad she made the choices she made. I think as parents, we should always encourage our children to do the things they love and not the things that we want them to do. I will be the first to admit I could be a hard parent. We were tough on grades. We would generate some more homework for. In fact, I remember getting an argument with one of our teachers. I think it was a Miss Lewis. I don't know. I could be wrong. It may not have been Miss Lewis. Maybe it was Mrs. Scafidi. In any case, she was going to Nergy Elementary School in Elk Grove Village, Illinois. I think they were considered Elk Grove there, or maybe they were still considered Roselle, where we lived. We lived right on the border of Roselle, Elk Grove, and Schaumburg, Illinois. And my ex-wife and I generated a lot of homework for our daughter. We wanted to make sure that she got into good study habits, which she did. She graduated high school with a high GPA, got a Bright Future Scholarship to UCF. So sometimes being a strict parent is very, very beneficial. Keep your kids occupied. My daughter was occupied by basketball and cheerleading and education. Didn't mean she didn't get into some trouble. All kids get into some trouble. You were a kid. I was a kid. We don't even want to get into the trouble I got into. Oh my God, I got an identical twin. You can imagine. Mm. On freehand pipes, there's a few things I look for. Um, Besides a few manufacturers, I generally really like, regardless of the name, having plateau that I can see. I also prefer if I can see a straight grain, and again, I prefer if I can see a bird's eye on the bottom. That's probably my preference for all pipes. Bird's eye, straight grain. Cross grain's fine. Multiple grain is fine. I love ring grain on blast, but on a pipe that's smooth, the more straight grain I can see, the better, unless it's all bird's eye or mostly bird's eye. One of my most beautiful pipes is probably a small group 4, maybe group 3, pipe in France. I don't remember the name. I'll have to look at it. We'll bring it out one day. We'll smoke it, talk about it. Purchased it brand new, never smoked. Estate pipe. It's got a stinger. With or without the stinger, I find the draw really tight. I'm really big on airflow, and the pipe's got to have great airflow to me. That one doesn't, so I think I've smoked that pipe twice, and it's been sitting in my pipe rack. Again, it's a beautiful pipe. Sometimes I have a hard time separating from a beautiful pipe, but my logical part up here says, Kenny, get rid of that pipe because it's not doing you any good. You're going to just keep ignoring it on your rotation, or smoke the pipes you like, smoke the pipes you enjoy, regardless of price, regardless of what they look like. Smoke what you like. And same thing with tobacco. You know, this one of the reasons I wanted to do this Tuesday talk, and I think we're going to keep this a regular feature. I don't know if I'll be doing it weekly or monthly, but on Tuesdays, we're going to be doing kind of free talks. We'll talk about anything. I'll take your guys' suggestions. One of the questions, in fact, I think I'll talk about today during this Tuesday talks is jarring tobacco. And let me just get a jar. It was asked to me if we should jar tobacco, keep it in tins, or possibly put it in a pouch, a bag, if you will, that you can vacuum seal, like a seal-a-meal type thing. I don't know which brand we have, but we got the brand, we buy the big rolls of sheets and it pulls a vacuum and we use it to seal meat, etc. I'm not a big fan of sealing my tobacco. Now, that being said, I get tobacco from KBV, Ken Byron Ventures, who makes exceptional tobacco. If you've never had one of his blends, you owe it to yourself. Like many great tobaccos, they sell out quickly. When he releases a new tobacco, generally it goes quick, especially if it's a rare limited release. The ones he does for merchant service, for an example, some of his Virginias, he uses premium source tobaccos when he blends. Some of those being esoterica. So people, I think, generally want it to because they know the quality of tobacco. All of his blends may not be everyone's cup of tea, but he's got some great blends for those who do. Well, one of the things I've kind of learned by just smoking his tobaccos and watching his tobacco, he blends what he likes and what he thinks his customers are going to like. And when you're blending your own tobaccos, blend what you like. It's one of the reasons I usually don't recommend getting initially a tobacco more than a 2 ounces, or a common tin. I think your common tin, like Frog Morton here, is a 1.5 ounce or 50-gram tin. Those are a good way to try a tobacco without committing to buying a pound or so. Anytime I can get a tobacco in bulk, I do. But another great advantage of buying in bulk, let's just take like the Northwoods I got in last week. Bought almost a pound of it, I think 14 ounces of that, and then I bought a few ounces of other tobaccos from Boswell. And I'll take an ounce or two of that to use to mix with other tobaccos, again, that maybe aren't up to par with what I'm looking for. I may take a blend that doesn't have enough Latakia or good mouthfeel, add some of that Boswell. I may add a heavy Latakia blend or a heavier Latakia blend, like Star of the East, which is 50% Latakia, and break some of that flake and mix it to a tobacco. I may take some straight Latakia. I always try to keep an ounce or two of straight Latakia, of blackened Virginias, of stoved Virginias, of red Virginias, of Perique. I don't stock a lot of Orientals for myself, but those are the ones I primarily keep, plus things like Black Cavendish, unflavored Cavendish, as well as a few kind of base aromatics of it, a vanilla Cavendish, a chocolate Cavendish, etc. I keep all of those as my mixing blends, and I use them to tweak and to make smokable some of the tobaccos that maybe I wasn't a huge fan of. And the great thing about this is you can always tweak it. You find a tobacco you really like some of the flavors for, you can boost up these qualities. You can get things that are totally customized to your palate. So I highly recommend everyone take some time, blend up some of your own blends, smoke them, enjoy them, share them with friends. Keep notes if you want to, what you've added this time, and then that will be replicated. If you don't take notes, you're never going to be able to replicate it, and that's okay too. I have a few tins. This one for an example. It's an East Farthing tin, but I know this one is an East Farthing. And into that, I throw all my odd bits. So it may have some aromatics, it may have 1Q and BCA, it may have a little bit of leftover broken flake from Star of the East, it may have some Northwoods, it may get a little bit of American Patriot. So whatever I'm smoking that day, if I've got a little bit left over and not enough to really throw back in the bag, I throw it in the tin, shake it up. And then once that tin gets full, I start smoking that tin. And then that becomes one of my smokes, my daily smokes. It's a great way to use up tobacco that you're not necessarily a fan of. I think everybody's got a bits and pieces jar. And for many of us, that becomes kind of our favorite. Wow, that's really incredible. But you'll never duplicate it again. So take it for what it is. That's all I got for you today on this edition of Southern Santa Piper. If you like what you're seeing, please hit the subscribe button, share my videos with others, share it in your groups, make some comments, hit that notification. I really enjoy spending time with you all. Thank you so much for spending time with me today, and God bless.